Donald Trump has finally assembled his legal team, the best and brightest minds from around the country who will be defending him during this Senate trial. And it's a doozy. So we've got Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz, former Independent Counsel lawyers Ken Starr and Robert Ray. They're going to be joining his team, which also includes Jay Sekulow, Pat Cipollone, and Pam Bondi as well. It's just, I mean, the term murderer's row is thrown around, but in terms of the sorts of people you could get to represent you in a high profile case, that is just, that is something. Yeah. And so what's interesting is we're gonna give our commentary and everything, and we're gonna hear from some members of his team. But I saw that Jonathan Swan at Axios, some White House officials had reached out to him saying that they hoped Trump wouldn't pick Dershowitz. They said it's an unforced error given that the team was already strong, and perhaps more importantly because of the close publicly documented ties between him and Jeffrey Epstein, which could become a distraction. And so that makes two members of his defense team who also helped Jeffrey Epstein get a sort of easygoing, sweetheart sort of deal and evade accountability for the horrific crimes that he's committed. That's the team that he has.
He got a sweetheart deal?
A little bit.
I mean, I think in the end.
Not in the end so much. No.
Although, is it ever really over with Epstein? I'm just gonna talk like this whenever I talk about Epstein.
I feel like I'm in an episode of Russian Doll. No, it ended poorly, but he had a good run.
He did have
he skated on the first. He skated for the first part, is what you're talking about. That sweetheart deal. Like his defense team. They've got a lot of stink on them. The Epstein stink is on Dershowitz. And you know, we overlook Ken Starr, I think, too quickly when we talk about stink involving sexual harassment and sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
At Baylor, he was forced to resign, as you are aware, because he covered up and didn't handle the serious charges of sexual misconduct on the campus of Baylor by athletes in any kind of serious way. Ken Starr is a reprehensible, awful guy. And that's just one more way he's awful. But so that whole sexual misconduct stink, though, that's Dershowitz. I think it's on Starr as well.
But I mean, aren't you kind of like you know, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, like they're not on the other side of this. This is like the wrong dream team. This is like the sexual assaulter's dream team. Don't we need like the corrupt, you know, I don't know, like whatever, foreign bribery dream team. You need someone who's more in like the mafia angle rather than the like handsy angle. I don't know who that would be. But
I don't know.
I just feel like maybe Kevin Spacey in character as his character from Time to Kill could just like join in on this, because that'd be great, you know?
Well, and the other thing I just was gonna say is I think that a lot of these decisions that are made as to who's gonna be on Trump's team across the board, I mean, this team or other, they're decided upon based on who shows up well on television, who said the right thing on Fox News. These are the things that Trump cares about checking off. And I think these guys check those boxes.
Yeah, and so there is some indication that the TV presence is a part of it. We're gonna get to that. But also the just fawning deference to Donald Trump. You just do that for a few months on Fox News and you eventually get hired. It has never failed. Now it's a mixed picture for some of these individuals, as we're gonna go through historically, but we do have some examples of that sort of deference. So why don't we go first to Ken Starr. Here's a little mashup of him in advance of impeachment talking about Donald Trump and what he thinks about impeachment.
What do you make of all this?
It is a lesson, and a nasty lesson, in how not to do impeachment. The president may have covered himself by saying no quid pro quo, the record is muddled. There is no bipartisan support of this impeachment inquiry. So that's a very important background fact. 31 Democrats during Clinton supported the impeachment inquiry and not a single Republican did. And that tells you this is just the great partisan divide that is dividing the nation further. And that's a great, I'm not gonna say it's a tragedy, but it's a darn shame. What we have not seen here is the suggestion that, or at least we have not seen proof that a crime has been committed, and that seems to me to be a very relevant fact. What we're seeing ultimately here, which I think is so unfortunate for the country, is impeachment simply being used as a political weapon of destruction. It was inadequate to indict, so to speak, and I believe it's woefully inadequate to convict. There is no question that this president hated the idea of foreign aid to corrupt entities.
Yeah. There's some question of that though. So look, Ken Starr, he feels no sort of internal requirement to be honest in any way. It makes him a perfect fit for this legal team. And he's been on television for literally decades. That is how Donald Trump chooses people. It's the whole central casting thing. And look, I think that Ken Starr, in terms of being like a TV presence, I think he comes across as a pretty weak, sort of slow-speaking, weak force, but he's a name that Donald Trump has been familiar with for a very long time, and he probably likes the idea that Ken Starr is going to defend him.
And yet, what's so great about Ken Starr being on Trump's defense is that no matter whatever history shows about this time in American history, Trump will not ever be the president who was impeached over a blowjob. He's not gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's gotta suck that he was impeached. He must be so mad, but it's not over a blowjob. And he's like, it could have been, but it's not. I'm gonna get Ken Starr, because it wasn't there didn't I get oral sex at some point? You didn't, buddy, you didn't. and I love that.
Well, Ken Starr is a jihadist. You know, he went after Clinton on just that charge, right? That he was lying about this dalliance, or whatever you want to call it, in the White House. And we know what you want to call it, and I think you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's
a dalliance.
Listen, I always call it dalliance.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Quid pro dalliance.
But I think so. Trump looks at this and goes, hey, that guy went on the jihad against Clinton, and I want him to now represent me as they come after me. I think the arithmetic's that simple. As I said before, though, I think the arithmetic is really even simpler than that, which is guy on TV a lot. He was involved in another impeachment. He's been on Fox News a lot. He'll continue to go on Fox News, as you saw. I mean, I think he's been an analyst on Fox News for some time now.
Yeah.
And so that, again, is somebody that Trump wants on his team.
Because again, this is not about proving his innocence, or this is not about mounting any kind of defense based on any kind of fact, right? We've seen how Republicans have completely thrown that to the wind. This is about getting all of the blowhards in the same room so that it can just sear into the minds of Fox News viewers, so that we are, again, we all know we're post-fact, and so that they will mob the streets if he is in fact impeached, which he's not, he's been impeached, but like removed. He's not going to be removed, but maybe, you know, in rally after rally. And I think we're only, and I've said this before, and we have seen it, going to see things get more violent, more hostile, more divided.
Yeah. Well, all eyes are on Virginia, and we're gonna have that in the second hour.
He's not wrong. I mean, Trump is not wrong when he looks to the messaging. That's what's scary. You know, he gets this team around him, even Dershowitz. Again, these guys who are damaged goods if you actually look at the facts.
Right.
But they speak well and they speak forcefully on television and to that viewership that you're talking about. And I think you're exactly right. That is the only messaging he cares about. So to the extent that that's important, and it is, it's really the front and center aspect of this entire thing. He's made choices that will serve that. This is not a trial. They call it a trial, but it's not. It's a political process. And so in that spirit, he's made these choices for those reasons.
Well, and it's not a trial in the traditional sense. It's also not a trial in the sense that there is going to be a serious good faith effort to get to the truth. Right. So here's the thing, let's say hypothetically, there was the TV Fox News crowd of lawyers you could get, or there's these guys could actually protect me lawyers. Right. First of all, he's gonna have trouble getting a lot of those people to work for him because they don't want to anymore. But more importantly, he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't need a serious qualified legal team, because his serious qualified legal team are the 53 Republican senators that we've got.
Thank you.
They are not in any way gonna be serious or honest about this entire thing. All of them lied under oath when they took the oath at the beginning of this thing that they were gonna seriously consider the evidence. They're not interested in that at all.
You don't have to persuade this jury. You're preaching to the converted, exactly.
Do you think that's still the case in light of all the Lev Parnas stuff?
I think it shouldn't be, but I have not seen anything from any Republican senators that shows, or from Fox News, that even up to the point of a U.S. ambassador being like stalked, spied on, and potentially life being threatened. None of them have expressed like this has gone too far vibe. Sure. I have not seen that.
No, and especially since they're going to vote against actually entering in real evidence or bringing in witnesses.
Yeah. All
the new stuff that's come to light that really should matter, that should weigh on this case, is pretty much going to be overridden.
Yeah. Now, just really fast, because I implied that there was a little bit of ambiguity to the 100% deference we saw, for instance, from Ken Starr in that mashup. So they have previously been willing to be critical of each other, and that I mean Ken Starr to Donald Trump, but also Donald Trump to Ken Starr. Take a look at this video from back in the Clinton years.
I think Ken Starr is a lunatic. I really think that Ken Starr is a disaster. I hated the way the president handled it. It was a long and terrible process. I really think that Ken Starr was terrible.
It doesn't matter though, it doesn't matter. Because if you follow Donald Trump, if you like Donald Trump, you don't want or need any consistency. It's just, what's the latest thing? Is this person a traitor? Is this person awesome? Is this person the best? Is this person the worst? And you update it every day, and you flush your memory of everything else. He was a lunatic before, but now, oh, he's the best guy. Central casting, come on.
Footnote on those involved in this, and what we're talking about, the fact that this is not really a trial per se. I mean, this is about power. And so when you look at it that way, you see that's why they're not going to vote for removal of this president. It's about maintaining power. So as John said, unless they were to, show you that there was an assassination plan on that ambassador, I just don't see any way they want to give up power, regardless of the evidence.
Yeah.
But that's so, I mean, there essentially might have been, right? Like the text messages uncovered from this guy, was it Robert Hyde or something? Who's saying, I'm following her, I know where she is. Like, again, we have to sort of bring it back to shoe on the other foot. What would Republicans do with this information if there was a Democratic operative working who was spying on an ambassador? Like, insanity, there's no way that would hold.
Yeah, I mean, look, even with all this evidence, it doesn't break through at all, even though I bet there are Republicans who have believe right now that not only would Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have done something to this ambassador, but there are probably some who think that they did kill this ambassador.
Sure.
And there are people spreading rumors that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died like a year ago, and they're just pretending she's still alive so they don't have to give up the seat.
Yeah.
That's the world we
She's on
exist in.
vibranium from Wakanda, dude.
Exactly.
TYT is all about challenging and disrupting the status quo, and so is Aspiration. Aspiration does not invest your money into fossil fuel businesses that harm our planet, such as pipelines and oil drilling. Instead, you'll be able to fight climate change with tools like AIM, the Aspiration Impact Measurement, and Planet Protection. They also don't hit you with outrageous fees for you to access your own money. You can even earn cash back and get free ATM uses up to 5 times a month. Head to aspiration.com/TYT to learn more. For a limited time, get 30 days of free TYT membership when you sign up.